Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I brought you a recipe and we think it's about time that we gave you another one. Today we're going to be doing a Buddha bowl, which is a beautiful bowl of different veggies full of plant-based proteins. It's super delish. Stay tuned, we're going to bring that to you. Okay, today we're doing a Buddha bowl, and if you haven't been to this channel yet, please take the opportunity to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of these awesome recipes as they come to you. All right, so a Buddha bowl is a bowl with lots of different vegetable and grain and basically plant-based ingredients, recipes, and it traditionally comes with a bunch of different things on the plate, so you get a good mix of proteins and carbs and fats, and super yummy. And today our Buddha bowl is going to have quinoa, it's going to have avocado, sweet potato, beetroot, beautiful greens with silverbeet and spinach and peas, and it's also going to have chickpeas, a beautiful splattering of roasted seeds, and a delicious dressing of tahini and basil. Super scrummy. And so what we're going to do is cook each portion of it and then put it together at the end. So let's start with the thing that's going to take the longest, and that is our quinoa. We want to get that on the stove so it can cook by the time we do all the rest. So quinoa, I like to use white quinoa. We've got our pot, and quinoa is pretty easy to use and cook if you know the very basics, which is 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water or stock, whatever you want to do. And then what you can also do, so I've got my cup, and you can also put flavors in there. So don't need to rinse quinoa, but if you feel to, go ahead and do that. It's not very starchy and it's not very dirty as a grain. Got my filtered water. I'm going to put a couple of cups of that in. Such an easy thing to cook. And the thing that makes it stand out is if you put a few little spices in to make it a bit more magical. We will do a dash of pepper. And let's put some turmeric in, because turmeric tastes great, but is really good for you. And a dash of smoked paprika. That's going to give it a lovely body and smoky flavour. Great. Easy, right? Throw it on the stove. Now we're going to let that come to the boil. And as soon as it's boiled, we're going to turn it down. So we'll need to keep an ear out for that. Great, on to the next thing. So we have some sweet potato and some beetroot. And both of these little beauties we're going to chop up finely, cube it, and we're going to roast them with some lovely oil and spices. So let's get on to that. Now the thing is with, in terms of what size you cut it down to, it's really up to you, but just keep in mind that you want it to fit in the bowl and you want it to be manageable as you're eating it. All right, I'm going to pause because I could hear this is starting to come to the boil, so we're just going to reduce that to a simmer. And let it keep going. Okay guys, now we have our beautifully chopped sweet potato, and now we want to give it a little bit of flavour. So we've already used a little bit of turmeric in our quinoa, so let's do something a little bit different. Let's get our herbs. Got a little bit of oregano, and just sprinkle that on, and a bit of garlic. Now the thing is, you don't need to smash each flavour part of it with lots of flavour, because you've got to get a bit of flavour with each part. So it's good to kind of mix it up a little bit different with each. So that's why I'm going with that. Now, need some olive oil. Gorgeous, just a coat, a big splash there. I'm doing a fair bit. This is going to feed about 5 or 6 people. So it's a good family recipe. And just give that a toss. Gorgeous. And I can already smell the lovely garlic and oregano with the oil. Great, let's put that aside and let's do our beetroot. Let's put some oil, a little splash, and we're going to use some coriander seeds, or are we going to use some fennel seeds? Because fennel is beautiful with beetroot. Really, don't need a lot, it can get a bit strong. Very nice. Great, let's put that on a tray and get it in the oven. And I'm a big fan of using baking paper. Gives it a really nice roast, but it also makes for very easy cleanup. Oops. That's one. And the sweet potato. Let's put that on there. Yum. Oh my goodness, this smells really good. 1, 2. Perfect. Pop them in the oven. Now I've had my oven on preheating, and I've actually got it on 200 because I want these to crisp, but I don't want to keep in the oven for like hours. So I've put it on for 200 degrees Celsius, and I will tell you how long they took shortly. All right, our board is quite the mess now. Now, we're going to cook our greens. Before we add any flavour to our greens, we want to get that sautéing off. So, I'm using a slightly deeper one, pan that is. Now, I'm going to use a slightly different oil this time. I've got some beautiful 100% pumpkin seed oil, which is quite green and has a lovely pumpkin seed flavour. You see it's really dark when it goes in, but it gives a gorgeous flavour. And to that warmed oil, we're going to slowly cook our green silver beet. Now you can use rainbow chard as well. And as with any green veg like this, it always reduces. So as we cook it, it's going to cook down further. I'll add some more. Okay, so most of the silver beet is, it's still wilting. It'll wilt a little bit more, but what I want to do is I've got some chopped spinach that I want to add to the mix as well. I've got 1 pack of, by the way, that was 1 bunch of silver beet de-stemmed and chopped up, and now we're putting in some chopped spinach. Great. And that liquid from the spinach will help the silver beet to reduce some more, because silver beet does need a little bit of moisture, which you saw me adding a little bit of water in there. A bit of coriander and cumin would be lovely. So you don't want to leave these to the last minute, because you do want those spices to cook. The spices will always taste better, and they'll lose that. If you have them in raw, they'll get a kind of a grittiness to it. which you want to avoid. So you want to add a little bit, and I've just done, you know, about a teaspoon of each, maybe not even. Don't want to overdo it. And then a dash of pepper. Now, as you probably know about my channel, I don't add salt, very rarely. So if you, by all means, add it to taste, it's your choice. But I think these beautiful veggies have got so much flavour that doesn't really need it. Yum. Okay, final thing we're going to add to our greens is some peas. These are some defrosted peas, and I've got about a cup's worth. Going to throw that in as well. So we've got a really nice serving of green veggies, which are going to be super yummy, but just give the whole dish a really good nutritional content as well. Lots of fibre, really good carbs, and stacks of vitamins and minerals. Yum. So I'm going to turn that down now and let it just sort of simmer and reduce for maybe 5-10 minutes. Doesn't need a lot. It is actually cooked. You could pull it off now, but I want the flavours to really infuse in the veggies and get super yummy. So the quinoa is ready, so let's have a look at it and what that looks like. Okay. Yeah. See how lovely and fluffy that is? And it's got a slight little bit of brown on the bottom. That's perfect. Next, we are going to saute our seeds and brown them off. We're going to roast them with our fry pan. And the trick to roasting seeds in the fry pan is get it nice and hot. And when you hear it starting to crackle, then you need to get some movement in it, or else it will burn pretty easy. So you need to keep it moving all the time. So let's wait for that. It takes about a minute or two to heat up. And I've got some pine nuts, some sesame seeds, and some sunflower seeds. And that gives a very nice subtle taste. But to that, I'm going to add some nigella seeds, otherwise known as black cumin seeds. These give a beautiful taste and aroma. You may know it from the top of Turkish bread. They put it on their breads and it gives a lovely taste. So we don't want to do too much because it is a strong flavour. I've got 3 good pinches to about, I don't know, probably about half a cup of seeds, or 3/4 of a cup of seeds. So let's let that heat up. So that's been heating for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I can just hear the oils from the seeds starting to get hot, and they're starting to sizzle a little, hiss a little bit. And so at this point, it'll be really important to keep it moving. Now, you don't have to flip it like I do. Just grab yourself a spoon and just keep it moving. So you can see they're still quite hot and they're lovely and roasted and brown. So let's put them aside to cool down, because you don't want to be putting your fingers into that. That's going to be really hot. Perfect. Now, we have some pre-cooked chickpeas that I have soaked and cooked in the morning. When I say I've cooked them, so I soaked them overnight, and in the morning I drained the water, which is super important, and gave them a good rinse. Put them with fresh water back to boil, and I boiled them for about 3 hours. Okay, now we're going to get some flavour into them. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're a little bit yellow, and that's because I've added some turmeric in the water as I've cooked them to really infuse that flavour through. Great, so in the pan they go. Going to add a little bit of garlic. some paprika, and some cumin. And then to make them super special, add some lemon juice. This is a big lemon. It's a very big lemon. Okay, that'll do. And better add a touch of oil or else it'll stick. Beautiful. Yum. Let that warm through. We're going to let the flavours infuse into the peas. Okay, so that's only been probably 3-4 minutes. And I'm going to turn that off because they don't need cooking, they just need to get the flavours through them. Okay, so we are doing a tahini basil dressing. Now the reality is you don't have to do a dressing with this dish, but it does make for a pretty delicious, sensational extra. So to do a tahini dressing, a sauce, you need some fresh hulled tahini, some beautiful fresh basil, we've got some pepper and garlic, some lemons and fresh water. And you don't really need olive oil. So I'm going to put in, let's say about 1/4 cup of tahini. Actually, I'm going to double that because I want some leftovers, because it really is good. So I'm going to put in, let's put in all of it. No, that's too much. I've got 150 mils. One, two pinches of pepper, some basil. Now basil is a very strong flavour. You don't need a massive amount. It's not like parsley or coriander, which is sort of much milder. So you don't want to overdo it too much. I think that's about it. And then some lemon juice, which is super important. Fabulous. Little bit of water, because now what we're going to do is throw the stick mixer in there. So now that comes up to 500 mils. Let's see if it's going to mix well. Go nice and slow. And I'm trying to catch the basil first before hitting the tahini. Because once you hit the tahini, it's going to go thick very quickly. Beautiful. As you can see, it's making a lovely thick dressing. Oh, that's good. I was thinking, what am I missing? Garlic. Some dry garlic in. right, beautiful, dressing made. Let us put this together. Now I will say, as you've guessed by now, there are a few little bits and steps and processes to get this together, but so worth the while, so worth you spending a little bit of time putting this together. The house smells unbelievable. So many gorgeous flavors, and this is going to taste sensational when we put it together. So let's start. I'm going to start nice bowl, and we're going to put a bed of greens. Now you can use any lettuce variety of your choosing. Don't overdo it because you want a space for the other stuff. Got our greens, got our lettuces, silverbeet, and peas. Okay, got our gorgeous quinoa. So it might be easier if I bring it over here. Beautiful chickpeas. And even though this is a veggie bowl, it's still a very protein-based veggie bowl with all these grains, and so yummy. We got some, and I don't know if you noticed, but I picked pretty much one of each colour to make the bowl look really special. So some sweet potato, gives it a lovely orange colour. And we've got a range of textures, and yum. Some red beetroot, and for some good fat, we've got some avocado, which I've started to slice. Gonna give it a good slice through and pop that out on the plate. Yum. Look at that. So good. That is what it's looking like so far, which is fantastic. Now, make it super special with our roasted seeds. I'm going to put it mostly in the center and a little bit around. Fabulous. And our dressing that goes with it. Now I'm not going to pour the dressing on because that would just be wrong. And there you have one amazing dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever you like. It's a vegan, vegetarian, plant-based Buddha bowl, high protein, so good, served with tahini basil dressing. Yum, yum, yum. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please hit the like button if you have, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. We'll keep on bringing these to you. Have an awesome night, guys. Take care. See you next time. We're going to start that again.
You have my book.
Hi, Kate. Okay. All good? Good.